Hey Internet, it's me. Tonight's movie was Blood Vessel, and it was pretty great. Um, Now I'm not usually one for war movies, so going into this was kind of like when I went into Overlord for the first time. It was very tentative for me. I don't know why, but just war movies were never really my deal. Like even Jarhead, which I know was like critically acclaimed, I couldn't get into it. I don't. The setting doesn't do it for me. It's never my favorite. So with this one, right off the bat, it's a World War II era film. So going in, I'm like, eh. And I didn't know what to expect. I knew nothing about the movie, just like all these movies. I had like seen the poster, someone recommended it once. I'm like, all right, that looks decent. Let's add it to the list. So going in, I didn't know what to expect. In the first few minutes, when it's just a bunch of soldiers, I'm like, oh well, we'll see. But then, and spoilers from here on out, right away, the captain gets ground up by the ship propeller, and I'm like, okay, there could be something here. And then, oh my god, it just gets better. Eventually, you find out, it's a storyline that's been used a ton. In fact, I mentioned Overlord, and I'm pretty sure it was used in that too. But basically, Nazis harness black magic and creatures. In this case, the creature was a vampire. And yeah, it was pretty great. All these soldiers, like, they're infighting and they're trying to figure themselves out, and then you start getting, like, character backgrounds for each of them. So you start thinking, okay, so this ragtag group, they're going to come together and they're going to make it through, and, we're going to see all these storylines closed out. Like, we're starting to invest in and care about these characters, so they're building something here. And then they just start killing them off. The vampires, there's the little girl they find, and right away there's the German who locked himself in a room, and you find out that, oh, he's frightened to death of her. It's because she's one of the vampires. Later on, she attacks the nurse lady. Like, it's just, oh, it's really great. And they did really well with the atmosphere, too. Like the whole thing's filmed on the ship, and like you feel like you're in the ship with them. Like the whole thing feels kind of claustrophobic, and there's a lot of the scenes that are just very dark, and just there's always just these close quarters, and there's pipes and grates and just metal stuff all around and in the way, and it really adds to the atmosphere. They're trapped on this boat, and you get that trapped and closed feeling along with them. So the setting and the set just really helped build the tension for the movie. And then I mentioned the storyline. It's the Nazis, black magic vampire during the war, all of that. And I mean, I've seen it done before, but it was done really well. Like, I really enjoyed how they eased us into it. Like, you knew it was a Nazi ship right away. It's hard to miss all the swastikas. But you didn't know right away that it was going to be that kind of movie. Or at least I didn't, just from looking at the poster and turning it on. So you don't even see the hints at the vampire and all of that until much, much later. At first you just see a couple dead bodies that look kind of weird, like their veins are messed up, or they were burned alive. So something happened, but you don't know what. So when the vampires are introduced, it's kind of an oh shit moment, because you didn't know that was going to happen. And then when you see them, they look really good. They're the old school, like, not Nosferatu necessarily, but like the half bat, half man kind of vampire. Basically, it looks like Man-Bat from DC Comics. And it was really cool. And it had a lot of, like, the traditional vampire qualities, so, like, it could control animals or humans. And, the crosses were a thing, and holy water was something it had to avoid. And at one point, you even see what basically looks like a little Van Helsing kit, where it's got a layout of crucifixes and some holy water bottles and all that stuff. So it's kind of cool. I really dug the movie. It was fun to watch. There's a lot of just really well done stuff in it. The acting and the way the characters were portrayed and kind of fighting against each other in a way that seems kind of like a rivalry, but in the same time they're working toward the common goal. Like, it feels like what I imagine being a war would be like, because you're stuck with all these people, and if they're on your side, whether you agree with them morally, whether you have the same personalities, or the same backgrounds, same upbringings, whatever, none of that matters because at the end of the day, you have a common goal you have to achieve, and basically it's survive in a lot of scenarios. So it was interesting to see these people at each other's throats, but still working together because they had to. Um, and yeah, once it gets into it, when their survival instincts kick in, you start to see the monsters and everything's going wrong. It's really well done. The movie's paced really well. The acting's really well done. The creatures look cool. The backgrounds and the sets are all they really add to the ambiance. Everything was very well done here. I enjoyed this movie a lot. If you like good movies, which if you're watching these videos, you definitely do, you should watch this one. There's been a string of good movies lately this year, and I'm kind of digging it. But this is definitely one of them. So go check this out if and when you get the chance. You won't regret it. It's a great film. Blood Vessel. And that's it. I'm going to go. Okay, bye.